Greetings, ASA members. The state board meeting today had lots of news, especially concerning A through F, the present, and the future. Today the board adopted method 2, using standard deviations to measure variance from the mean to determine the scale for grades for high schools and K through 8. For K through 8, an A is 86 through 100, B is 74 through 85, C is 62 to 73, and D is 50 to 72. For high schools, an A is 85 to 100, a B is 70 to 84, a C is 55 to 69, and a D is 40 to 54. Another change was made for high school points. This involved a grad rate change. If you go to the link provided in this message, it is on page 104 of the agenda, option 2. This essentially prevented the problem of high schools with high graduation rates from not earning any points because they weren't improving the grad rate. While schools with much lower graduation rates, sometimes 20 points lower, were earning points. So now it gives a high school the full 10 points if their graduation rate is above 90%. Another important idea advanced at the meeting today was a revision enhancement process for A through F. And this is on page 120 of the agenda. Yes, the agenda was well over 100 pages, and the meeting went many hours. A change process will be implemented for A through F, with public input sought, especially in these areas: incorporation of the menu of assessments, growth measures that are easy to understand. What a concept that is. College and career readiness measures, that's the CCRI index, the K through 8 acceleration measures, and bonus points. And finally, the N count. Now, here's the timeline for this process. Public input will begin immediately, October 1st, through November 15th. Then, a special board meeting will be held in November to review the input. Then, a technical advisory committee will provide advice to the board and model possible changes based on board guidance. That process will continue through February, with final changes made by the State Board of Ed in March of 2018. Now, this Technical Advisory Committee, TAC, will be appointed and will serve for 3 years. It will be comprised of student achievement researchers from a variety of rural, urban, socioeconomic, public, charter, online, and alternative school environments. Page 123 contains the detailed qualifications of the committee. Finally, they were busy today. Finally, the menu of assessments was discussed. Important questions remain. How to compare assessments among high schools when some take the AZ Merit while others may end up using the SAT or the ACT. 2 noted university researchers have been consulted, and they suggested that if assessments such as the ACT or SAT were chosen by high schools, they could be incorporated, as they are now, into the CCRI. Then growth and proficiency at the high school level could be changed to exclude Algebra 2 and English Language Arts 3. In other words, schools that use the ACT or SAT would still test on AZ Merit in Algebra 1 and Geometry and English Language Arts 1 and 2. Now, this would seem to greatly minimize any incentive to shift to an entire school taking the ACT or SAT. Another suggestion, however, was raised. If the use of test scores for the purpose of high school accountability were to be removed, then the issue of score comparability among assessments would no longer be a predominant concern. With this shift, it is feasible to implement the menu of assessments so that LEAs may administer a board-approved assessment in grade 11, such as the ACT or SAT, in lieu of the AZ Merit Assessment in 2018-19. Yes, I know, complete blasphemy. I am shocked this was even suggested. Quick, the defibrillator! Let's go on. New executive directors of the State Board of Education. Yes, a new executive director. Today at the State Board, a new director was appointed to take over the reins from Dr. Carol Schmidt, starting in November. Chosen from among many qualified applicants was Alicia Williams, current State Board of Education Deputy Director for Special Projects. Also, on the subject of new leadership appointments, following a thorough search and interview process, the Board of Directors of Expect More Arizona announced the selection of Christine Thompson as their new President and Chief Executive Officer. Christine will assume that role on October 30th. Now, you may remember that Christine was the former Executive Director of the State Board of Education prior to Dr. Schmidt. Finally, a couple other things here. On October 5th, some radio stations are advising their listeners that October 5th has been designated as Bring Your Bible to School Day. Here's some advice from an experienced lawyer. The school should not promote this day, nor should the school interfere with it, unless someone is using the Bible to thump another kid, or someone is bullying another kid for bringing one. Just make sure your staff understands that they don't get to celebrate it, they don't get to comment negatively on it, they just consider it something that the student chooses to bring that isn't illegal, it isn't against school policy or state law. It is a book. Maybe the good book, but still a book. It isn't a weapon, drugs, alcohol, a Confederate or Nazi flag. It's not illegal. So, if October 5th is being brought up in your community, make sure everyone on your staff takes a deep breath and doesn't overreact. Speaking of taking a deep breath, let's all take a deep breath together, because we now have an A through F accountability system. For better or worse,